samsaradava nalalidaloka tranayakarunaganatvam praptasya kalyana gunanavasya vande guru shri charanarvindam Mahaprabhu kirtana nitya gitai Varitra madhyan manasorasena Romanchakampa Sutarangavajo Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Vigraharadhana Nityananam Shingarathan Mandiramajnado Yuktasya bhaktam saniyunjatopi Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Chaturvida Shri Bhagavat Prasado Swadana Triptan Hari Bhaksha Sangram Kritraiva Triptim Bhajata Sadaiva Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Shri Radhika Madhava Yorapara Madhurya Leela Gunarupanam Nam Pratikshana Lolupasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Nikunjayono Rati Keli Sedhai Yayali Bir Yuktira Pekshaniyai Tatrati Daksha Ativalabhasya Vande Guru Shri Charanarvindam Sakshadaritvina Samatsa Shastre Uktastatthava Yateva Sarvir किन्तु प्रभोर्या प्रिय एव तस्य वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् यस्य प्रसादा भगवत्प्रसादो यस्य प्रसादा न गति कुतोऽपि जयं स्तुवां स्तसाय सत्रिसाद्यं वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् वन्दे गुरो श्रीचरणरविन्दम् नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यादेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद चैतन्य Nityananda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasari Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Chaitanya Nityananda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Jaya Radha, Nila Madhava Radha, Nila Madhava Radhe. Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Jagannatha, Jaya Baladeva, Jaya Subhadra. Jaya Sitaram, Jaya Sitaram, Sitaram, Jaya Lakshman Hanuman. Jaya Lakshmi Narasingha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasingha, Lakshmi Narasingha, Jaya Lakshmi Narasingha. Jaya Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai, Gauranitai, Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Prabhupada, Jaya Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol.
Namaste Narasimhaya Kaladadayini Hiranyakashipur Bhakshahai Shilatam Kanakalaye Ito Nishinga Parato Nishinga Yato Yato Yamitato Nishinga Tabakara Kamalabare Nakam Aruta Singha Alita Hiranyakashipu Tanubingam Kesavajita Narahari Duva Jai Jagadeshare Jai Jagadeshare Jai Jagadeshare Jaya Narasinghadev, Jaya Narasinghadev, Narasinghadev, Jaya Narasinghadev. Haribol, Haribol, Gora Haribol, Nitya Gora Haribol. Haribo, Haribo, Gora Haribo, Nitai Gora Haribo. Shingade Bhagavan ki jai. Vrindaye Tusidevai Priyaye Keshavasya cha Vishnu Bhakti Pradidevi Satyavratai Namo Namaha. Vrindaye Tusidevai Priyaye Keshavasya cha Vishnu Bhakti Pradidevi Satyavratai Namo Namaha. Vrindaye Tusideva Priyaye Keshavasya cha Vishnu Bhakti Pradidevi Satyavratai Namo Namaha. Vrindaye Tusidevi Maharani ki jai. Let's sing.
Namo Namaha Tulasi Krishna Prayasi. Namo Namaha Sri Krishna Prayasi. Namo Prayasi. Namo Namaha Radha Krishna Seva Pabo. Hey Abhilashi. Radha Krishna Prema Pabo. Hey Abhilasi. Radha Krishna Seva Pabo. Hey Abhilashi. Krishna Seva Pabo. Hey Abhilashi. Yeto Mara Sharana Loy Taravancha Purnahor. Yeto Mara Sharana Loy Taravancha Purnahor. Kripa Kori Korotare Vrindavanavasi. Pakomi Korotare Vrindavanavasi. Mora e Abilas Vilas Kunjedi Ovas. Mora e Abilas Vilas Kunjedi Ovas. Dayane Bosara Yugala Rupa Rasi. Yane Hari Bosara Yugala Rupa Rasi. Heni Vedana Daro Sakira Nugata Koro. Heni Vedana Daro Sakira Nugata Koro. Seva Adi Karadie Koro nije dasi Vaari karadiye Koro nije dasi Dina Krishna dase kor Eye namo raho Dina Krishna dase kor Eye namo raho Shri Radha Govinda Preme Sadayena Basi Radha Govinda Preme Sadayena Basi Yani Kani Chapapani Brahmajati Kani Cha Tani Tani Prana Shanti Pradakshina Pade Pade Yani Kani Chapapani Brahmajati Kani Cha Tani Tani Prana Shanti Pradakshina Pade Pade Yani Kani Chapapani Brahmajati Kani Cha Tani Tani Prana Shanti Pradakshina Pade Pade Yani Kani Chapapani Brahmajati Kani Cha Tani Tani Prana Shanti Pradakshina Pade Pade Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Jaya Vrinde Jaya Vrinde Jaya Vrinde Jaya Shri Vrinde Jaya Vrinde Jaya Vrinde Nitai Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo Gaura Haribo 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 Nitai Gaura Haribo Tulsi Devi Maharani Ki Jai
Vishnu Bhakti Pradi Devi Sachivatai Namo Namaha
Tulsi Devaya
Vrindaye Tulsi Devai Priyaye Kesavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Pradi Devi Sachivatai Namo Namaha Vrindaye Tulsi Devai Priyaye Kesavasya Cha Vishnu Bhakti Pradi Devi Sachivatai Namo Namaha Vrindai Tulsi Devi Maharani Ki Jai. Oh, Tulasi, beloved of Krishna, I bow before you again and again. My desire is to obtain the services Shri Shri Radha and Krishna. Whoever takes shelter of you has his wishes fulfilled. Bestowing your mercy upon him, you make your resident Vrindavana. My desire is that you also grant me a residence in pleasant groves of Shri Vrindavana Dham. Thus, within my vision, I will always behold the beautiful pastimes of Radha and Krishna. I beg you to make me a follower of the cowherd damsels. Please give me the privilege of devotional service and make me your own maidservant. This very poem wrote it. Chinada Pisani Chena Pisa Hisnana Amanina Mahadina Kirtani Sadahari Nadanam Najanam Nasundarim Kavitamba Jagadisha Kamaye Mamajan Mani Jan Manishware Bhavatat Bhakti Rahai Taki Twai Ai Nandatu Nuchakin Karab Patitam Misame Bhavam Buddho Kripaya Tava Palapankaja Sita Duli Sadvisam Vichintaya Nayanam Galadasrudaraya Vadanam Gadgadurudaya Jira Pulakaya Nisitam Vapu Kada Tavanamagrahane Bhavishyati Yugayitam Nimesena Chaksusabhavrasayitam Sunyayitam Jagat Sarvam Gopinda Virahena Me Aslisyava Padaratam Pinastumam Hadasanam Mamahato Karoto Va Yata Tata Va Vidata Lampato Matmanatastu Saivanaparaha Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Shri Chaitanya Siksastakam Ki Jai. Glory to the Shri Krishna Sankirtan, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional life of repeated birth and death. The Sankirtan movement is the prime benediction for humanity at large, because it spreads the rays of the benediction moon. It's the life of all transcendental knowledge. It increases the ocean of transcendental bliss and enables us to fully taste the nectar for which you are always anxious. O my Lord, your holy name alone can render all benediction to living beings. And thus you have hundreds and millions of names like Krishna and Govinda. In these transcendental names you have invested all your transcendental energies. They're not even hard and fast rules for chanting these names. O my Lord, out of kindness you enable us to easily approach you by your holy names, but I am so unfortunate that I have no attraction for them. One should chant the holy name of the Lord in a humble state of mind, thinking oneself lower than the strongest tree. One should be more tolerant than a tree, devoid of all sense of false prestige, and should be ready to offer all respect to others. In such state of mind, one can chant the holy name of the Lord constantly. O Almighty Lord, I have no attendant. Nor do I want, this is our beautiful one, nor do I want any number of followers. I only want your causeless devotional service birth after birth. O son of Maharaj Nanda, Krishna, I am your eternal servitor. Yet somehow or other I have fallen to this ocean of birth and death. Please pick me up from this ocean of death and place me as one of the atoms at your lotus feet. O my Lord, when will my eyes be decorated with tears of love flowing constantly when I chant your holy name? When will my voice choke up, and when will the hairs of my body stand on end at the recitation of your holy name? O Govinda, feeling your separation, I am considering a moment to be like 12 years or more. Tears are flowing from my eyes like torrents of rain, and I am feeling all vacant in the world in your absence. I know no one but Krishna as my Lord, and he shall remain so even if he handles me roughly by his embrace, or makes me broken-hearted by not being present before me. He is completely free to do anything and everything, for he is always my worshipful Lord. Unconditionally, Shri Chaitanya Siksastakam Ki Jai. There are 10 offenses in the matter of chanting the holy names of the Lord that should be avoided. And they are as follows. 1. To blaspheme the devotees who dedicate their lives to propagating the holy names. 2. To consider names of demigods like Lord Shiva or Lord Brahma to be equal to or independent names of Lord Vishnu. 3. To disobey the orders of the spiritual master. 4. To blaspheme the Vedic literature in pursuance of the Vedic version. 5. To consider the glories of chanting Hare Krishna's imagination. 6. To give some interpretation on the holy name of the Lord. 7. To commit sinful activities on the strength of chanting the holy name of the Lord. 8. To consider the chanting of Hare Krishna as one of the auspicious ritualistic activities which are offered in the Vedas as fruit of activities of karma conduct. 9. To instruct the faithless person about the glories of the holy name. 10. To not have complete faith in chanting the holy names and to maintain material attachments even after understanding so many instructions in this matter. It is also an offense to be inattentive while chanting. Every devotee who claims to be a Vaishnava must carefully guard against these 10 offenses in order to quickly achieve the desired success, Krishna Prema. Now, let us offer our most humble obeisance to all the Vaishnava devotees of the Lord. They are just like desired cheese that can fulfill the desires of everyone, and they are full of compassion for the fallen conditioned souls. Vanchakal Bhattirabhyascha Kripasindhabhyavacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha Vaishnava Thakur Ki Jai. Shrimad Bhagavatam Grantaraja Ki Jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Janmadasya Yata Nivayad Itaratas Chartesu Vigyaswarat. Tene Brahma Hidaya Adikavaye Muyante Suraya. Tejo Varimidam Yata Vinimayo Yatra Trisago Misha. Damna Srina Sada Nirasta Kuhakam Satyam Param Dimahi. O my Lord Shri Krishna, son of Vasudeva, O all-pervading personality of Godhead, I offer my respectful obeisance unto you. I meditate upon Lord Shri Krishna because he is the absolute truth and the primeval cause of all causes, of the creation, sustenance, and destruction of the manifested universes. He is directly and indirectly conscious of all manifestations. And he is independent because there is no other cause behind him. It is he only who first imparted the Vedic knowledge into the heart of Brahmaji, the original living being. By him, even the great sages and demigods are placed into illusion. As one is bewildered by the illusory representations of water seen in fire or land seen in water. Only because of him do the material universes, temporarily manifested by the reactions of the three modes of nature, appear factual, although they are unreal. I therefore meditate upon him, Lord Shri Krishna, who is eternally existent in the transcendental abode, which is forever free from the illusory representations in the material world. I meditate upon him, for he is the absolute truth. Dharma pujita kaichavocha paramo nimatsaranam satam vedyam vastavam atra vastu shivadam tapa trayonmulanam Shrimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krite Kim va prayer Ishwaraha Sadyo Hridi Avarudyate Tra Kriti Bihi Sususabhistakshanat. Completely rejecting all religious activities which are materially motivated. This Bhagavata Purana propounds the highest truth, which is understandable by those devotees who are fully pure in heart. The highest truth is reality distinguished from illusion for the welfare of all. Such truth uproots the threefold miseries. This beautiful Bhagavatam, compiled by the great sage Vyasadeva in his maturity, is sufficient in itself for God realization. What is the need of any other scripture? As soon as one attentively and submissively hears the message of Bhagavatam, by this culture of knowledge, the Supreme Lord is established within his heart. Nigama kalpatarur galitam phalam sukumukadamrita dravya samyutam pibata bhagavatam rasam alayam muhur aho rasika bhuvibhavakaha. O expert and thoughtful men, relish Srimad Bhagavatam, the mature fruit of the desired tree of Vedic literatures. It emanated from the lips of Sri Sukadeva Goswami. Therefore, this fruit has become even more tasteful. Although its nectarian juice is already relishable for all, including liberated souls. Shinvatam Sakta Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantaksto Bhadrani Vidunati Shuhit Satam. To hear about Krishna from Vedic literatures, or to hear from him directly through the Bhagavad Gita, is itself righteous activity. And for one who hears about Krishna, Lord Krishna, who is dwelling in everyone's heart, acts as a best-wishing friend and purifies the devotee who constantly engages in hearing of him. In this way, a devotee naturally develops his dormant transcendental knowledge. As he hears more about Krishna from the Bhagavatam and from the devotees, he becomes fixed in the devotional service of the Lord. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 1, Chapter 12, Text 30. Sa isa loki vikyata pariksid iti yat prabhu purvam dristam anudyayan parikshita nareshviha. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So his son would become famous in the world as Parikshit, the examiner, became as Parikshit, examiner, because he would come to examine all human beings in his search after that personality whom he saw before his birth. Thus he would come to constantly contemplate him. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. Maharaj Parikshit, fortunate as he was, got the impression of the Lord even in the womb of his mother, and thus his contemplation on the Lord was constantly with him. Once the impression of the transcendental form of the Lord is fixed in one's mind, one can never forget him in any circumstance. Child Parikshit, after coming out of the womb, was in the habit of examining everyone to see whether he was the same personality whom he first saw in the womb. But no one could be equal to or more attractive than the Lord. Therefore, he never accepted anyone. But the Lord was constantly with him by such examination, and thus Maharaj Parikshit was always engaged in the devotional service of the Lord by remembrance. Srila Jiva Goswami remarks in this connection that every child, if given an impression of the Lord from his very childhood, certainly becomes a great devotee of the Lord, like Maharaj Parikshit. One may not be as fortunate as Maharaj Parikshit to have the opportunity to see the Lord in the womb of his mother, but even if he is not so fortunate, he can be made so if the parents of the child desire him to be so. There is a practical example in my personal life in this connection. My father was a pure devotee of the Lord. And when I was only 4 or 5 years old, my father gave me a couple of forms of Radha and Krishna. In a playful manner, I used to worship these deities along with my sisters. And I used to imitate the performances of a neighboring temple of Radha Govinda by constantly visiting the neighboring temple and copying the ceremonies in connection with my own deities of play. I developed a natural affinity for the Lord. My father used to observe all the ceremonies befitting my position. Later on, these activities were suspended due to my association in the schools and colleges, and I became completely out of practice. But in my youthful days, when I met my spiritual master, Shri Shripad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj, again I revived my old habits, and the same playful deities became my worshipful deities in proper regulation. This was followed up until I left the family connection, and I am pleased that my generous father gave the first impression, which was developed later into regulative devotional service by his divine grace. Maharaj Prahlada also advised that such impression of a godly relation must be impregnated from the beginning of childhood. Otherwise, one may miss the opportunity of the human form of life, which is very valuable, although it is temporary like others. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. So, Srila Jiva Goswami makes a strong point that every child, if given an impression of the Lord from his very childhood, certainly becomes a great devotee of the Lord. So, this is what you would call primary duty of the family, mother and father, to give their children, right from the beginning of their life, a strong, let's say, impression of who is Krishna and why we worship him with great love and devotion. Now, there's a saying in English, it's never too late. So if one grows up in a family where they're not introduced to Krishna consciousness, okay, it doesn't mean you can't become Krishna conscious. But the most fortunate children are born in families that are Krishna conscious, so that right from the start of their life, even in the womb of the mother, they have prasadam, they hear Hare Krishna Mahamantra, they hear lectures that the mother is listening to and so forth. So they get that prenatal education, and then as soon as they're born, they get so much support in following the path of Krishna consciousness. This idea that Parikshit means one who is an examiner. He was always looking to see the same person that he saw in the womb of his mother that protected him from the Brahmastra, that he wanted to see Krishna. So wherever he looked in the material world, he was always looking for Krishna. That is basically called Krishna consciousness. Krishna consciousness is through knowledge and realization, one begins to see the presence of the Lord everywhere and in everything. That is real vision. The materialistic vision, one only sees material things. They don't see the connection to the Lord. That is materialistic vision. But when the devotee, through training, deity worship, and so forth, and chanting, understands that Krishna is in everything, he's everywhere, he contains everything. There's no one equal to or greater than the Lord. So this is a very high level of Krishna consciousness. Even if one only theoretically understands this, but yet is always looking for the Lord with anticipation, they become purified. Just like yesterday, we read the verse, the third chapter, I think it's 22nd verse, that emphasizes that a person who has unflinching faith that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Srila Prabhupada is his bona fide representative and a pure devotee, and Bhagavad Gita, as it is, are the direct words of Krishna, and Srimad Bhagavatam is a further elaboration of the same truth that's in Bhagavad Gita, but with more details, more depth. And regardless of their own foibles or weaknesses and mistakes that they make, they never doubt the veracity, the truthfulness, the validity of Krishna consciousness and Prabhupada and the Vaishnava, Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya. So, even though they're not following everything, still, Prabhupada says, but because one is not resentful of this principle, that is, that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and works sincerely without consideration of defeat and hopelessness. Now that's very important, because sometimes when people say, oh, well, you know, we went on to Sankirtan, we distributed so many books, and hardly anyone became a devotee. And we're always struggling, trying to get money for the temple, and people in the temple are arguing this thing and that thing, and the GBC did this, and that one did that, and so that leads to hopelessness and depression, but and resentful. You know, why is it that we can't have, we must follow no illicit sex? Why is it that we can't do this? Why is it we can't do that? They're always complaining. However, if one is not resentful of this principle, that is, to follow the regulative principles, and work sincerely without consideration of defeat and hopelessness, he will surely be promoted to the stage of Krishna consciousness. So the determination to keep striving with confidence and determination to be a devotee and to regularly perform devotional service, that can only be had in the association of devotees, sincere devotees, because we need to see examples of what happens if someone is a sincere devotee. That is, that they're gentle. There's 26 qualities of a devotee enumerated in the Bhagavatam, and it's somewhat in the Bhagavad Gita also. So therefore, but an ordinary man with firm faith in the eternal injunctions of the Lord, even though unable to execute such orders, becomes liberated from the bondage of the law of karma. So that is a great statement of hope and a bright future that everybody has who maintains their faith and determination in Krishna consciousness. So there are other places where this is confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Let's take a look. 5th chapter, 25th verse says, let's see what that says. Yo nata sukha natar aramas tatantar jyotir evaya sayogi brahmanirvanam brahmabhuto digachati. One whose happiness is within, who is active and rejoices within, and whose aim is inward, is actually the perfect mystic. He is liberated in the Supreme and ultimately attains the Supreme. So, Prabhupada says, unless one is able to relish happiness from within, how can one retire from the external engagements meant for deriving superficial happiness? A liberated person enjoys happiness by factual experience. He can therefore sit silently at any place and enjoy the activities of life from within. Such a liberated person no longer desires external material happiness. This state is called Brahmabhuta, attaining which one is assured of going back to Godhead, back to home. So, this state of internal contemplation. So what did it say today? It said that Maharaj Parikshit it says, Child Parikshit, after coming out of the womb, was in the habit of examining everyone to see whether he was the same personality whom he first saw in the womb. But no one could be equal to or more attractive than the Lord, and therefore he never accepted anyone. But the Lord was constantly with him by such examination, and thus Maharaj Parikshit was always engaged in the devotional service of the Lord by remembrance. Okay, so he had a very special darshan of the Lord, but we have darshan of the Lord every day. So, therefore, if we have serious darshan, really focus on seeing the beauty of Radha and Krishna every day, that impression stays in the mind. And that's what we need to have, that strong attachment to the deity of Radha and Krishna. So, because of that, because he was always looking for the Lord, he was always anticipating seeing the Lord, he was, in other words, Krishna was with him always by such examination, and thus Maharaj Parikshit was always engaged in the devotional service of the Lord by remembrance. So, how many times in a day do we forget Krishna? That's the question. Different things happen, we get angry or frustrated or anxious, and we forget Krishna. But the devotee is always focused on serving Krishna. He knows how to see Krishna by reading the Bhagavad Gita. How do we see Krishna by reading Bhagavad Gita? He's the taste of water. He's the light of the sun and the moon. He is the sound in ether. He is the Omkara. So, therefore, Krishna says, Nantosti mama divyanam vibhutinam parantapa esa tu desata prokto vibhute vistaro maya. My almighty conqueror of enemies, talking to Arjuna, there is no end to my divine manifestations. What I have spoken to you is but a mere indication of my infinite opulences. So, if we read 7th chapter, and we read 10th chapter, we read 4th and 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, it's teaching us how to see Krishna always through matter. through the material world. Prabhupada says, as stated in the Vedic literature, although the opulences and energies of the Supreme are understood in various ways, there's no limit to such opulences. Therefore, not all the opulences and energies can be explained. Simply a few examples are being described to Arjuna to pacify his inquisitiveness. So, therefore Krishna says, know that all opulent, beautiful, and glorious creations spring from but a spark of my splendor. And therefore we should learn, if we're confused, then we should regularly read these choice verses in the 7th, 10th, and 11th verse, to be able to 11th chapter, and to be able to see Krishna always in this material world, and always be examining and validating what the Vedic knowledge says, validating for ourselves what the Vedic knowledge says, by seeing the splendorous display of Krishna's vibhutis, his transcendental energies. Okay, so we'll stop right there. Are there any questions? So Prabhupada is speaking about his own experience as a child and the association of his father and mother. And he says his father was a pure devotee of the Lord. Okay, all glories to Srila Prabhupada ki jai.